Good afternoon. Welcome to Baton Rouge for the Baton Rouge Regional, the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament, and the pregame press conference with Ohio State. Winners yesterday over Missouri State. They will face LSU at 7 o'clock Monday night here at the Maravich Assembly Center. Pleased to be joined by senior guard Braxton Miller to my left, who had 1.3 rebounds in the win over Missouri State. Far end of the table is graduate forward Tanaya Beecham, who had 8 points and 5 rebounds in the win. Once again, we will ask questions here in person first. Raise your hand. If you do have a question for both players, please designate which one you'd like to start. And for those joining us via Zoom, you can hit the raise hand button there. We'll come to you when the in-person questions are done. Ladies, congratulations. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And we'll open up the floor for questions.
Braxton, this is for you. Obviously, I guess you saw LSU play yesterday. What's your impression of them, especially their guards, which seems to be their strength?
Yeah, I think they're a really great team. I think that it's definitely going to be a struggle. They crash the boards really hard. Their guards are really skilled and fast, and so just trying to play D, box out, get a lot of rebounds, I think is going to be really crucial for us.
Question for each. I'll start with Tanea. You were a part of the team that played in a tournament with Toledo before you transferred. You didn't play in that game based on the box score I read, but just to get back to play as you did and the ability to win that game and enjoy the moment even though you are looking forward to tomorrow.
I'm really excited about the whole experience. I feel like it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me, especially now because I'm a senior, so all gas, no brakes. I don't want it to end.
And Braxton, Coach Mulkey was just here, and of course she said she faced you when she was at Baylor. What's changed about the Braxton Miller she faced at Oklahoma State compared to what you're doing now as a senior here?
I think I'm just kind of a different player. I mean, obviously now I'm in the 4 position. She's definitely never seen me there, so just a little more mature, making hustle plays and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it.
To both players, how do you view the challenge of, you're just looking at this like a road game in conference, going to somebody else's house when they're going to have all the fans and everything? Is it a us against the world mentality, or how do you view that challenge?
Yeah, I think it's definitely difficult. I mean, they bring in an amazing crowd. I mean, that you can't really argue that. So it's definitely difficult, home court advantage. But I think that we have a really strong base, and we support each other so much. I think that we're excited to take on that challenge.
Yeah, I think their crowd is most definitely their 6th man behind them. So we most definitely have to come in there with not trying to get every call. We have to play smart and play our game and focus on us going into the game.
Stay with Tanea. If you could just talk about your game. For most of us, this will be the first time to get to see you play. It looks like on paper you guys, can do a little bit of everything, but you defend well and shoot the 3 pretty consistently. As a person on their team, how would you describe your team?
I feel like our team is very confident. I feel like we are a threat. Nobody should take us lightly, no matter what you guys got on y'all roster. I feel like we're going to play sound and we're going to be focused for this game for sure.
Yeah, I think that we have great chemistry, so we play really well together. We like playing with each other, and we're going to play really hard. I think that's one thing that we've gotten better at and just been mentally tough with throughout the season and improved on is we might not always be the best team or the most skilled or whatever, but we are definitely going to play the hardest. So I think that's big for us.
Braxton, staying with you, the pressure at the end of the half on Missouri State. You guys pressed most the first half, but was it, as Katie mentioned on the broadcast, you had a couple of shots, kind of got some momentum, closed it to 5 or 6. What clicked then, allowing that press to be so effective down the stretch in the first half?
I think that, we put a big emphasis on trying to get stops in our press, and even if not stops, just slowing teams down, giving a little bit less of a shot clock. So I think that it was kind of like we got 1 steal and a few shots, and we saw what the press was doing, and it was just like blood to a shark. Like as soon as we saw that we could get some steals, we just kind of pounced and went crazy. So I think that was obviously huge and something we saw and just really went after.
Braxton, if you could describe Taylor's game for me as well.
Yeah, Taylor's, you guys have seen her play. Taylor's a super skilled player. She shoots the 3 like no other, and she can even get it off the bounce though and get a floater and things like that. She's a threat for sure, and I'm super proud of everything that she's brought to the team this year and the year that she's had. It's really impressive, and I love that for her.
Just a quick follow-up to the crowd question. Were you able to stay and watch the second game?
Yes.
Here. Oh, what were your impressions of the environment in that game?
Their crowd most definitely gave them a lot of support, especially when they got down. Their crowd most definitely brought them back into the game. Just to have the support that they had around them, they should have never had no doubt in their mind, you know. So we gotta most definitely tune out the crowd when we play. I feel like the crowd is going to be really hostile out there when we get out there. So we can't let the crowd and get too caught up in the crowd. We gotta tune it out.
Yeah, I think it was really impressive. I mean, I love to see it, you know, a crowd that big supporting women's basketball and things like that. You know, we'd hate to come to an empty stadium. So I think it was really impressive. It's a crazy environment. I think it's going to be definitely challenging, and they're a great crowd, so I'm excited.
For both of you, Coach Mulkey talked earlier about how you guys are a 6 seed, but you don't, I mean, what y'all did in y'all's conference this season, y'all should have been a higher seed. Kind of what does that say about this team?
I think we just have a lot of heart. You know, I feel like people have doubted us a lot of times, and we just kind of take it with a grain of salt and for what it is, and we don't let that really get to us. I think we know ourselves and we know our teammates, and we want to stick together and prove everyone wrong. So I just think that that's been even more of a driving force for us. It's not really even something that is a bad thing for us. If anything, it just fuels our fire more.
Yeah, for sure, our togetherness and our confidence in each other most definitely push us to go against anybody.
Just an easy question. Do y'all normally practice with crowd noise like you did today?
No.
Just as JC's teammate, what is she like as a person? I know it's kind of open-ended, but if you could just highlight a few things. And in any way, it seemed like she had a really interesting response to that first quarter. Obviously was rough yesterday, and she caused a lot of havoc all over the floor in the second quarter and kind of seemed to lead the way. I don't know if you agree, but could you give me an idea of how her personality fits what she did yesterday?
She's always motivating us. You know, she's always like telling us to bring it together so we can calm our nerves, get ourselves together. And I feel like she helps us a lot of trying to keep us composed, or she try to make sure that she's composed so we won't get out of, you know, control or anything, especially with her pushing the ball's going through her. So if she's her tempo is high or if she's calm, I feel like it'll pass down to the whole team when we're out there.
JC is probably one of the hardest workers I've ever met in my life. She is determined, and so, you know, when I see her do things on the court and on the floor, like, I feel like it's exactly, you know, how that was supposed to go. I mean, everything she does on the court, I've seen her do 1,000 times in practice and workouts and things like that. So, yeah, JC's super determined. She keeps her cool, and she definitely helps us lead the way in times that we're struggling, especially like yesterday. So I'm so proud of her, and she's even a greater person. As a friend, she's so fun and funny, so I love Jace.
Anybody else in person? We're clear online. Any final questions here? All right. If not, Braxton and Tanea, again, congratulations. Thanks for your time, and good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We'll be right back to Baton Rouge. Our head coach, Kevin McGuff, will join us from Ohio State. Until then, a reminder that a copy of this press conference will be posted to the NCAA Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com, and a transcript provided by ASAP will be made available shortly. Head coach Kevin McGuff joins us shortly when we come back to Baton Rouge. Until then, thanks for joining us. And welcome back to Baton Rouge as we continue with the pregame press conference for Ohio State. Once again, defeating Missouri State on Saturday, they advance to face LSU Monday night, 7 o'clock Central at the Maravich Assembly Center here in Baton Rouge. Happy to be joined by Ohio State head coach Kevin McGuff. Once again, we'll address questions here in person from the media. Please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you for those joining us via Zoom. If you have a question, you may hit the raise hand on your Zoom, and we will come to you when we are done. Coach has said he'll just pass on an opening comment. Would like to open it up to the floor, so let's go with questions for head coach Kevin McGuff.
Yeah, Coach, just some general comments on what you saw last night, LSU, how they came through and beat Jackson State to move on to play you.
One, it was a great environment, and which I figured it would be. And the LSU fans really showed up and to create a great opportunity for both teams to play in front of a great crowd. So I thought that was very impressive, and I know it'll be similar tomorrow night. And LSU did what they always do and what Kim's teams always do. They played incredibly hard. They were physical. They defended at a high level. They were really, really aggressive on the boards. And then, they had a combination of driving the ball and making open shots from their perimeter players who were very, very talented.
Coach, I saw you scouting the game last night in person and with your team. Crowd noise today at practice. The girls said that was something a little new.
Yeah. No, we figured, we were sitting thinking about, like I said, being there yesterday, and the crowd really rallied behind the team late in the fourth quarter when they needed it, and it got very loud. And we've played in front of some loud environments this year, but it's been a little while, and so we just wanted to get the kids a little more used to it.
Obviously, your win was important yesterday, but then you got a chance to watch your daughter's team play Belmont.
Yes.
And now some of your family's here. So what's this like for
Yeah.
you, for them?
Yeah, no, yesterday was a great day for our family. For those you don't know, my daughter's a freshman. She plays at Belmont, and they had a huge upset win versus Oregon, and that was, our game was nerve-wracking down to the last minute. Then I flip that on, and it goes to double overtime. So I'm all shot. My nerves are shot. So I got to regroup today and get ready for tomorrow. But it really just an exciting time for our family. My wife and my three youngest kids were in Knoxville, and then they made their way over here. So now they're here. So it's been a good couple days for the family, and so we'll see if we got any more magic left tomorrow.
Coach, have you coached against Coach Mulkey before when she was at Baylor? And just your thoughts on
I coached, one time. Where were we, Matt? The Gulf Coast Classic. Yeah, in Fort Myers in a tournament. We lost to Baylor's in the finals of that tournament. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, probably. So, and her teams, like I said, they look similar. They're huge. They're physical and aggressive. They play really hard. Kim gets as much out of her teams as any coach in the country, and I think this year's no different. She's done an amazing job with this group, and I think they've had an outstanding year to this point, and she'll just continue to do amazing things with this program.
Kim talked about your 2-2-1 press and just the way you all use it and can at any point in time and committed to it. What do you like about it, and what do you like how it affects other teams?
Well, it speeds the game up, and we like to play fast. The other part is, we're not really big and deep around the basket, and it can kind of put a little more emphasis on ball handling and perimeter play than allowing them to just walk it up and pound it inside all night. And so those would probably be the two biggest things that it does for us.
I guess two things. One is, you said hopefully a little more magic tomorrow, but you don't really need magic to win tomorrow, right?
We might.
And no, it's a very respectful thing to say to LSU. Obviously, you obviously think highly of them, and it's interesting because Kim seems to take issue with the idea that struggling against a 14 seed like they did last night is any kind of sign of vulnerability, because he just feels like both teams, and especially Jackson State, played so well. What would be your feeling as a coach on that?
I agree with her. I agree. Number one, Jackson State played incredibly well, and they're very talented. So it wasn't like they just played above their head. If you looked at their schedule, they played a bunch of SEC teams very close, but they're talented. They are very, very talented. I can't imagine there's a more talented 14 seed than Jackson State. So I think Kim's right on. That wasn't some fluky thing. They're very good. They played really well, played really hard, and I think it was actually great for LSU because they got tested and they really had to execute down the stretch with win or go home. I think that was good for them, to be honest with you.
It appears on paper that you have a deep bench. You like to play a lot of girls, a lot of minutes. What advantage is that for you, especially given that you have some real proven players in JC and Taylor as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that we can use our bench a little bit tomorrow, especially if we can get the press going and get the game, the tempo up. Maybe the depth will help us. But like I said, LSU, I think they're deep enough too. I mean, especially with their post players, they keep rotating the post players, and that has a real that can really wear on you as an opponent. Just the way they rotate their post players and they keep them fresh.
Yeah, I know you probably heard me ask your players about JC. It just seemed like she really stood out, especially in the last 3 quarters of that game. And so I was wondering, similarly, if you could comment on what kind of player she's been this year for people maybe who are going to get a better look at her in the second round.
Yeah, no. One, she's an incredible kid. Comes from a great family. Her father is a former Division III basketball coach, so she's been well schooled in the game of basketball since birth, and it shows. Just an amazing worker. There's can't be anybody in the country working as hard as she is. You gotta chase her out of the gym on a daily basis. And then I think the probably really interesting thing about her this year is that before the season started, our starting point guard tore her ACL, Madison Green, and JC. So then we had to shift JC to the point guard position, which I was a little nervous about because we count on her so much for scoring and so forth. And she made the adjustment, and she's still been able to run the team, make sure we execute at a high level, make other people around her better, and score. So that was a really just kind of speaks to her character. To be able to make that adjustment and not miss a beat it's not easy. It's a really tough thing to do, but she's obviously handled it incredibly well, and it just that probably kind of as much as anything sums up who she is as a player.
I know she obviously gets a lot of attention for scoring. Anyone can look at the stats and see that, but could you comment on her as a defensive player and the kind of defense you play?
Yeah, the thing is, if you really watch her, I think people don't realize she's very, very quick. She's got great speed and quickness, and she's got great anticipation on the defensive end. Normally one or two times a game, she's running through a pass, a pick six down the other end for a layup. She's also really, really good in our press because of her speed and agility and just ability to anticipate.
Any other questions for Coach here? We're clear on Zoom. If not, again, Coach, congratulations on the win Saturday. Thank you for your time, and good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for joining us once again. It's LSU and Ohio State, 7 o'clock Central tomorrow night here in Baton Rouge at the Maravich Assembly Center. We'll be back post-game for post-game comments from both LSU and Ohio State. In the meantime, a copy of this press conference will be posted to the NCAA Media Hub, ncaa.veritone.com, and a transcript will be provided shortly by ASAP. Enjoy your Sunday. We will see you Monday night back here in Baton Rouge. And until then, thank you for joining us.